Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Atomic Salt Live Show. Yeah, we've been gone for a couple of weeks. In case you don't know, this is the live show. We're going to discuss everything in the tabletop hobby world. I am Wild Chevy, and as always, I'm joined by my buddy Casey. Casey, how have you been the past little while? I know you've been on assignment.
Wait, what? How does this thing work again? I'm confused. Nah, man, I've been good. Gosh, what have it been like 2-3 weeks here with nothing to show for our efforts?
Yeah, you were gone one weekend. I was gone one weekend.
Yeah, so
Sick kid one weekend.
yeah, it's been crazy. But we're back. We're back, baby.
So what have you been up to? I see you got some paint ready to go.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what we're working on that first tonight. So I'm going to be working on this little guy here. This is I can never remember which one. A Suyong Invincible. This is from Operation Red Veil. So you can see I've got them all built. I cut off the tab beneath which he stood under, or on top of, I guess, and we put one large pin through this tactical rock that he's standing on.
Gotta love that tactical rock.
It's like a bit of broken up debris there, now that I'm looking at it on this side. Anyways, so yeah, he's going to be kind of my test figure for the rest of the army, because I've got everything built and primed. We're just trying to get the color scheme down. So I've got them done right now. Based in Angelic Blood. That's basically just a red from Minotaur. Why I'm using that is because I have it. From there, kind of my plan, you guys will see tonight, the plan is to step it up to Wicked Orange. The red's basically just a base coat to let that orange go on a little easier. And the orange itself is going to be essentially a base to move up to Wicked Golden Yellow. From there, what we'll probably do is we'll probably add a little bit of white on top of that, and then come back in with the yellow to kind of even that out just a bit. And I'm doing it. And I'm using the Kratex and the Wickeds because I was trying to make my Vallejo game airs work, and they were a bunch of garbage. So hot orange was a hot mess. I wanted to burn the orange fire, and golden yellow, after the first two, I said, hell no. I'm not even touching it. All it was doing was just clogging up my brush just immediately. So I looked around. I guess it's kind of a common, well-known, Vallejo model air tends to have problems with clogging people's brushes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the model air, not so much, which I think is odd, right? Because I assume that they'd be pretty much the same formulations, just different colors. But evidently that's not the case. So I don't know. I was just so angry at it. I wasted probably 2 or 3 nights trying to get that all done. So that's what I'm working on tonight. What about you?
I've got this Iguana Squadron figure. I just got it. There's a new format in Infinity this season. It's called limited insertion. Mm-hmm. Basically, you can only have one max group. It limits you to a max group of 1, so you could have up to 10 orders for 300 points, give or take any special rule shenanigans.
Yep, so things like G-Servants, or sorry, not G-Servants, G-Synchronized.
G-Sync, Strategos.
So my question is does that count for or no, it wouldn't, because I mean, I guess basically it's just, as long as it doesn't take a spot. So only 10 orders. So like Scarface and Cordelia would count as 2, right?
They count as 2. They generate 2 orders.
Okay. So I was going to say, oh man, that's going to be great to take them, but never mind.
Yeah, so I've been playing around with a few things and running my QK. I was like, oh, I will do. I've got access to Scarface Cordelia. I've got the Iguana access. I'm like, oh, let's run 2 tags in a 300-point list.
You bet.
And it's called Tagline, so I mean, might as well take tags.
Oh, by the way, so you know that specialty order ITS box? Got one of those on order for us.
Nice.
Now we just have to decide if we're just going to use it all ourselves or if we're going to share it. You know, just split the box and enjoy it.
Does that mean you will be playing Infinity again?
Holy cow, I know, right? Yeah, so I've got to get ready for LVO.
Yeah.
It's like in what, 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, I would. So I guess we're getting more into like games played here at this point. So, since we're mostly talking Infinity, we'll get back to that. So, last week we had kind of a gaming day with some of my buddies. So, actually, I cracked out my 40K stuff.
Ooh.
I got the tab out and was using the ghost keels. So one of our friends here, Jordan Gardner. So turns out he works on base, which is pretty awesome.
Is that your Guild
Ball
Ball rep?
Yeah, he's our local Guild Ball rep.
Oh, nice.
But he's like, yeah, guys, I was kind of interested in like some bigger games and stuff. I'm like, oh well, we all play 40K. We've got a fairly diverse group of 40K players, so we can show you the game. So we did a 2v2. Everybody brought 1,000 points. So I played with my buddy Chad, who brought his Tyranids.
Did he bring any new stuff?
No, he didn't bring the new Gene Stealer cult stuff.
I've been waiting to hear somebody say how good or bad those are.
You know, everybody seems to really like what it looks like they're going to be bringing. So, because we were looking at it, we were talking about it and stuff. But he brought, you know, nobody was bringing a whole lot of tricks. So, yeah, so it was my Tal and his buds versus Austin's Orcs and Darren's Blood Angels.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. You know, Darren brought a whole bunch of Death Company and a Land Raider and 2-drop pods with just, you know, small tactical squads.
Blood Angel's got new some new stuff, right?
Yeah, he was using the new like some of the new Death Company rules. You know, so you know, Austin was, you know, just bringing big mobs of boys. So what it kind of turned into was, you know, me holding down the left flank, Chad holding down the right flank, and you know, ghost kills they do work for you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people they don't always get as much. I mean, everybody thinks they're good, right? They say, "Oh, well, you got to take it in this, or you got to take it in that." And,
well,
you know, you got
the wall of mirrors.
Yeah, you know, you got to take wall of mirrors, and you got to take 3 of them, so you get the +1 ballistic skill bonus and everything. But the truth is even as they are, these guys do work, man. Like you stick them in a decent piece of terrain, you know, where they have a nice field of view, and their range is a little short, but considering, you know, that Orcs and Blood Angels are just wanting to close with you anyways, it's not a huge deal. But yeah, man, they had that left flank locked down. We finally managed to open up his Land Raider. I think the only mistake that really got made that whole game was Darren. I think he waited just a little long to let the guys out of the Land Raider. You know, had he let them out a turn or so before, I think the game might have gone a little differently. But as it was, Chad and I won fairly handily. So, but it was a good time. Then got some Guild Ball in. I actually got to try playing the Butchers.
What did you think?
Oh, they're fun.
They got some.
Not going to take me away.
That whole line's got some new stuff coming out, right? The veterans.
Yeah, the season 2 stuff is pretty much all coming out here in the next month or so. So they've started essentially teasing what will be season 3. You know, and so
after they get done with the Kickstarter.
What? Yeah. So yeah, it was good. The Butchers, you know, with my Masons, I have to set up a lot of stuff, you know, and everything is really working out. Whereas the Butchers, I can just kind of throw them at things, and they just generate just a butt ton of momentum.
They butcher.
Yeah. So I liked them. They're not taking me away from my Masons, but they were fun. So I beat Jordan's Hunters, but they're Hunters, and so I wouldn't get too high on my horse over that. Oh yeah, we're cooking with gas now, baby. Yeah, so that's kind of what we did for gaming. What about you, Alan? What did you do?
I've been on a great Infinity kick lately. Let me move the iguana out of the way real quick. I'll show you guys. I went and did some speed painting. So here's all my Assassin Bram stuff that I've been playing with lately. And like I said, speed painted. So I was using the Minotaur airbrush line and did kind of like a Desert Raider scheme. And a lot of this was in prep for going down to the Arizona Armageddon, part of the Dire States.
Yes. Are we going to talk about that, sir?
Yeah. So, Arizona Armageddon, part of Dire States. So, here is the last template, courtesy of Warsenal, that got down there. Let me pull up some photos. All right, here we have photos from the event. It was a road trip for some of us. 6 guys in Utah Meadow went down to Tempe, Arizona.
My old stomping grounds.
Here.
There was a part of me that was like, oh, but I could go down there and like show them all these different cool places. But alas, it was not to be.
Yeah, we wanted you to, it would have been great to have more Utah Meta out there. So
I would have liked to have been there, but it just wasn't.
Was it in the cards?
No, I would have liked it to have been.
So for us, we went down on Friday, played Saturday, came back Sunday, Friday was beer affinity, meaning they were just setting up the tables and happy hour at the hotel. So it was just drink and have fun and kind of psych out your opponents. Some people were bringing different lists. Some people were bringing different armies, just trying to mess with other people's heads. Being that Tom Shadle was the main organizer for the event, and he is the yes, got to find out what Tom Shadle does for Corvus Belli.
Well, what does he do?
So, as the only American employee currently, Tom Shadle is in charge of. He's so there's game reps; those are the workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Shadle is the store workhorse. His job is to talk to all the stores in America, get their needs and wants. If they don't carry Infinity, ask them why. If they do, ask them what they can do better, and just generally get a gist of the American meta.
So he's kind of basically their sales rep.
Yeah, in a way, yes. Like I was talking to him about Warcourts, and he said that he superimposed an image of Spain on top of Arizona. Spain, they're about the same size. Spain has 50 Warcourts for the country. America has 47. And half of those are not active. So definitely going to be pushing to get more war cores for the states and get just the name of Infinity going more.
So don't get me wrong, like Gutierrez is a very smart person, very educated, but the rest of them, I'm not sure they understand how big our country is.
You know what? I think it has
like a big deal. I'm just saying we are physically large.
Yeah, I think some of that has to do with like maps, and you could take a look at one map. You're like, unless there's a size comparison, you're like, oh, could be bigger or smaller than somewhere else.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, Hawaii looks like it's the size of Colorado and stuff, and just because of the way the map is constructed. But yeah.
So yeah, so I got to talk with Tom Shadle. Kept nudging him to get my name as a workhorse. We'll see if that ever happens. But here's some of the prizes.
Oh yeah, that beautiful teak belong.
Yeah, that was up as a prize to the top person, or I think it was just in the prize pool.
Okay.
There's the sword that went to the first place person. Arsenal did the trophies for the top 3, and then best painted. And there's the other prize table. They had a lot of prizes.
Yes, they did.
To the amount that of the 40 people attending, there are still prizes left over.
Well, you brought me home something, right?
Yeah. I got some beard oil.
Brandon.
Yes.
Okay,
so yes.
You need to explain the sorry for Brandon.
If Brandon is one of those interesting people. In a room full of introverts, he stands out among the crowd. And when you put some beer into him, he gets a little louder, starts to slip into some Russian, and goes a little crazy.
He speaks Russian?
That's where he served his mission.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, got to see some a lot of faces that I've only talk to people in Infinity groups and all that. I've only known them by their handles or just by their profile photos. So Dexter Schiller was there.
Oh, Dexter, we love you.
Yes. Yeah, he was there with his pirate shirt on, and good times.
We had our Utard shirts out and on display.
And so, yeah, Saturday, 5 rounds of Infinity all day long.
How did that go, man? That feels like Infinity can cook the noodle.
Yeah, after round 4 is when I started to feel it. And then it became happy hour, and I was like, all right. Which was, if you've listened to the latest episode of my cast, they'll talk a little bit about it. You got two free drinks at the hotel. Whether you didn't have to sign anything, you didn't have to do anything, it was just you got 2 free drinks, and pitchers of beer were $5. And so I got my 2 free drinks, and I'm like, oh well, the round's gonna start soon, so I'll just pour it back into my Gatorade bottle and let's go. And so my 5th round, I was drinking wine plus Gatorade because I didn't have extra pair of hands to hold everything. But so yeah,
was this a common occurrence?
Yeah, because you had to walk to and from the bar to the ballroom, so you could tell Beer Affinity was strong on Saturday because they ran out of pitchers. And so yeah, it was 5 rounds. I won 4 out of 5 and placed 11th overall.
4 out of 5, and you placed 11th?
Yes.
That's just telling you the caliber that was going on
there. So our buddy Casey, or not Casey, our buddy Cody, who is our top player in Utah, and
he's kind of our local winner.
Yeah, he's our top. He was top ranked in the ITS for America last year. Him and Dexter threw down on the top table in the last round, and what surprised the rest of us, they ended up tying.
I'm really not surprised because those are both high caliber players.
Yeah, it's when an immovable object meets unstoppable force.
Pretty much.
And so that's kind of it threw a wrench into the rest. Yeah, it threw a wrench into the rest of the system. So those guys were at the top table, but since they tied, it defaulted to the other point systems, and like the top 6 people, like all had the same objective or tournament points, and then it went down to objective points, and they all tied there, and then it came down to like separating by victory points. But our buddy Cody placed 3rd, so he did not bring home the sword, unfortunately, but there's always next time.
Who did bring the sword home?
He went. They called him Doctor. And it's like his Infinity handle is like CS285 or something.
Well, good job, Doc.
Yep. So as far as swag and all that goes, there was a swag bag. You saw the blast templates already. I threw these things together. These are the from Top Down Terrain. There are line of sight templates for your miniatures, and I'm using it kind of as a placeholder for my iguana. For so for price pool, they just went down from number 1 to 40, and you went up there, and just grab something from the table. I ended up getting the terrain pack from Bandua. I've already thrown it together.
Oh, nice! It's
So it's a little. There's
damaged terrain.
No, it's got plastic for the hex windows. So those will go in after I've got it painted.
You know, I would leave one piece out, and I would use it as kind of like a stencil. I'd put like some light gray hexagon patterns around on it.
All the little wood pieces here, I've got those. So I got some chunks of hexagons. So yeah, it came with 3 of these, and then 3 like doors, little door things. But I think I'll just use them as objectives.
Yeah, nice little scatter pieces too.
Yeah, and then let me show you what else was. So when I say I mean swag bag, they get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Shayna was like pushing that for like a month.
Yeah. So I got a shirt. So pretty cool Arizona Dire Straits shirt. A piece of terrain from Death Ray Designs. Like a little hovel. So I'll be throwing that together. Just a blister. I think this is a Gulam, so they did a nice job of kind of matching everything to the players. Some bases from Dragon Forge. A base from Secret Weapon. And like I said, some beard oil. This is
literally the beard oil.
This wasn't in the swag bag, but one of the vendor guys was a vendor. Black beard oil. And yeah.
Is it like a wash or something?
No, it is. Look, it's oil for your beards.
For your beard. Oh. Well, okay then.
To make your beards smell nice. So when it's full of crumbs, it'll smell nice. A random infinity patch. I'm not sure who this is for.
That is. Oh boy, it's Ariadna. I want to say it's the British. It might be the SAS. No, or it could be one of the Russian ones. It's like one of the scouts.
And a very nice patch. That's Velcroed. So.
Yeah, that was a beautiful patch. I should have asked you if they were selling them.
I didn't see any for sale. Otherwise, and then an Infinity Dog Tag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure what those are used for.
It's just a little bit.
And then a small little Mayacast coin. Yeah, and that's about it. So, well worth the cost of the event. In swag alone, I think more than what I paid for. Yeah. Um, but I mean, we're in a new league that just started for Infinity in the local group. Um, I've got the Infinity bug really good now.
Mhm.
Now we're waiting for you to pick up on it. I mean, or what are your thoughts for the limited insertion?
I think limited insertion looks like a stupid amount of fun.
I
Like,
think
really do.
I think it brings it back to like N2 before Toha, before US Ariadne, where because the points were a lot more for your armies that
Yeah, I
take.
remember. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. I think back in the N2 days, kind of the standard was 10 orders. And that's kind of about where everybody played. Post, moving over to N3, we saw points drop across everywhere. And yeah, and from there, everybody just kind of exploded in terms of what they were bringing. So,
You'd face a Hakazan list. It's got 18 orders. Ariadne list. It's got 20.
yeah, and like I don't begrudge them for having lists like that. It's fine, but it's like it became this race to the top. Where it's how many orders can you bring? And basically stuff as many chief specialists and a couple of like midpoint skirmishers. And I'm sorry, like the idea of facing a 18 order list just does not sound fun to me.
It was like a safety blanket. Because you're like, okay, well, if one guy dies, no worries. I got orders to spare.
Yeah, no, and I understand why, and I'm not saying they're wrong for it. I'm just saying that's not a whole lot of fun to play against, right? Yeah, sure, you've got your AROs, but it's like, oh my gosh, you're going through 18 orders. Like, and I'm sorry, that takes a long time to play. I don't care how good you are, but it takes a long time to play 18 orders.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's certain armies that are built for it, right? So say like Ariadne, but it's like everybody was trying to do it now. So,
And I like the fact that like this limited insertion brings a new mindset to the game. Like I'm taking tags, 2 tags. I never would have thought about doing that.
mm-hmm.
Um, and or there's all those units. You're like, well, that guy's big and beefy, but I can get more orders bringing these 2 guys. Now it's like, oh, I can take this big beefy guy because I can't seem to get to 300 points.
Yeah, so I think limited insertion, and don't get me wrong, I think it's a good variant, but it allows different armies to shine, and it forces you because let's say the Steel Phalanx guy, he had a really hard time bringing a massive amount of orders and playing a regular ITS. Well, now he's not going to have such a hard time. The people who had an easy time in ITS are now going to have a harder time. So really, it's just calling for you to try to change up your style and to try new things, which I am always a fan of. And it just looks like a lot of fun, you know? So I am all for it. I'm excited for it. Unfortunately, we were going to have an event over at Shiv. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make that, it turns out. My wife had already scheduled. She had already beat me to that date. So she's like, oh, yeah, you could totally do it. We're like through the calendar. She's like, oh, wait, no. So, and she has a very legitimate reason for it.
Well, I mean, we'll have to get some practice in because I believe they're talking about LVO, the Friday event, is going to be limited insertion.
Oh my gosh, please. Like, I have had so much fun making limited insertion lists because it's all the toys that you never get to bring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for you, you got your ultra heavy infantry, which makes sense. I'm looking at actually running Achilles for once. You know, so
And I think this is one of those where link teams, you'll see the full benefit of having a link team.
yeah, without a doubt. Um, I think I think a 5-man link team is a way to go. I was talking with Austin about this, and I said 5-man mobile brigada, go.
That's what our buddy Randon is painting up right now.
Well, and I think for good reason, right? You know, so you're, and Austin's like, well, that's 200 points. And I go, well, who cares? It's half your army. And guess what? Half of your army now is in a link team. So, and if for whatever reason the mission doesn't really, or the setup doesn't allow for it, then take a 4-man link team, you know, and have backup so you can have a backup you can bring in. You know, there's just so much order efficiency you can bring to it. It is fun and scary all at the same time.
Yeah, because like for Arizona, I brought 6 Moeebs because they're AVA 6. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, if I'll evidently, or I know I will always lose my one guy because everybody's going to be gunning for him. And it was so nice to have that. Like, okay, I'm going to spend a command token, reform the link team, and back up to 5. Having that
What did
plus
you bring in the rest? What did you bring in the rest of your list?
So I had one list that, or my, I had, so I brought 2 lists. One I called silly, the other one I called objectives. Silly, I called it silly because it was just like, um, I threw it together one day, showed it off to my buddy. I'm like, this is just a pipe dream list. What do you think? It has 6 Moeebs. One of them's an LT. One of them's a heavy rocket launcher. 2 of them are mine layers with viral mines. One is a forward observer. One's a medic. And then 2 regular fidets with mines, smoke, and AP close combat weapons. And then all Jabel with his viral close combat weapon. And then a second group with 2 Farzans who are camo infiltrators.
Wait, I thought this was our limited insertion list.
Huh?
I thought we were talking limited insertion.
Oh, oh yeah, limited insertion. It's going to be QK. So for the tournament we're going to be playing, it's all going to be kill you death missions. So
I think it's a shame. That's your first instinct, but holy cow, all of those ITS missions where you need to like go and push buttons with people, a limited insertion, now gets like crazy interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are quite ready for that. Like kill your death missions make sense in the short term, but as people are used to it, pushing buttons in limited insertion is going to get insane.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. I'll take Scarface Cordelia, Iguana Squadron. So that's 3 guys right there. And then I'm thinking of taking a Sekbon link team.
Okay.
So heavy rocket launcher, AP rifles. It might be a Haris just to do 3-man. And then bringing up the new Bashi Bazook, which is Hollow Projector 2, 80 combat jump. And he'll have Emarat, so So hopefully he'll come down, and if there's any other tags or heavy infantry, that's a large blast template that's EM damage 13.
I swear, bunch of cheaters.
And then maybe a Yan Yan, just and an Azrael to finish it out, or some cheap medics or something like that, just to
kind of power it up.
Because for me, I'll always want Forward Observer and a medic in my list, because that's pretty much, or Forward Observer, and if I could push a hacker, because that's a majority of your classified objectives.
Well, I think a hacker is going to be really important, especially in limited insertion games, because there's going to be a lot of heavy infantry walking around. And you're going to a lot of tags, a lot of heavy infantry, and so it's going to be a strong counter to it. So even if you don't feel like you have good tag options yourself, I'm not saying you don't, but I'm saying if a person doesn't want to bring a tag, you should definitely bring that. And in a lot of ways, it starts making a lot more sense, right? So now you say, well, there's going to be so much going around there that I'm a sneaky nomad. So I'm going to bring a whole bunch of hackers. And I sit there and think, you know what? There's sneaky nomads out around there. I'm going to bring a couple of killer hacker devices. Right? And so I think everything just feels better in limited insertion. Like, I don't know. That's me. What do I know?
Oh, you're right. It's one of those. It's just before it's like, okay, I can take this whole myriad of troopers, and I don't have to worry about it. If one dies, oh, boo-hoo. Now you're like, okay, I've only got 10-ish units to bring.
Oh yeah, you have to protect your guys. Yeah, I just love it. It makes you like really care. And every order you spin, you're not just like, well, I'll just throw this order out here and see where it goes. Like, no, you need efficiency. So, and then other guys like, say, Sunze, or anybody with, that level up of leadership, where it gives you an extra order.
Yeah,
crazy useful now.
Strategos.
Yeah, Strategos level 2, I think, is what it is. Yeah, Strategos level 1 just, or maybe it's level 1. I can't remember. Anyways, Strategos is super useful now. It always was, but it didn't matter quite as much when you're like, whatever, I've got another 17 or 18 orders. Now, Strategos level 2 is all hotness. So, all right. So tell us about your games, man. Like, how did they play? How did you do? The list that you brought, what did you think of them?
For
Armageddon.
Arizona? Yeah. I had one list was my Zone Denial Killy list.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was objectives. And I was getting ready to go down. I played all the missions I could. The only one, and it was the one I lost on, was Antenna Field. I wasn't too comfortable with it. And it was, I ended up going against the guy who won Arizona. But having that going first in that mission because there's the 5 antennas on the field,
Mm-hmm.
and you have
That's the diamond or the cross pattern, right?
yeah, and
And all of those are repeaters as well, aren't they?
no, that's transmission matrix.
Oh,
This is similar, but a little bit different. This is the one. It's scored at the. You have to be touching at the end of each game round to
okay.
score.
Yeah, I played this one. This one is a meat grinder.
Yeah, and going a bad roll, and he forced me to go first, and I'm like, crap, this sucks because you don't want to have your guy exposed, touching the box, and because it makes him an automatic target. And uh, I had a guy all set up and all that, but he was touching, but he was still in marker state, so he wasn't able to score. So
Yep.
I goofed that up on the first turn.
Yep. Markers don't count. So I take it this was the one. This was the round that you lost, right?
Yes, it's a minor loss.
Well, at least you kept it to a minor, and didn't get blown out. I guess the guy who won. That's no shame there. No shame at all. You should be very proud of how you did.
But yeah, it was everyone didn't have to face anybody I knew.
That's always good.
It was every opponent I had was pretty cool, and it was interesting to see different metas.
How do you feel the Arizona meta differed?
Let's see. I went up against 2 other Hawk Islam players. So that is one of those where you knew Hawk Islam was going to win at least. The first Hawk Islam player had pretty much like a spam list. So it's like every guy I was taking down, he still had orders to spare.
Yep.
But fortunately for me, he ignored the mission.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, and so I was able to capitalize on that.
And just trying to kill you.
Yeah, and so like the Ghazi Muruias, these lovely little guys here.
Yeah, lovely.
I
mean, they're pretty models. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, a lot of people. I mean, they're 5 points, extremely impetuous, and in the regular order. A lot of people just use them for smoke or for the chain templates. I've been using them a lot differently for because of their jammer, because jammer doesn't require line of sight. And I walked into, or I was fearing some situations where the guy's like, oh, he's going to jam me, but he never did it. And I was like, wow. That's just.
I think that's one of those rules that people just seem to forget about.
Well, it's because for a 5-point miniature, it's got a lot of kit to it. They've got smoke, they've got chain rifles, they've got an E-Marat, they've got jammer, they're dogged. There's a lot of stuff going on to those guys. And yeah, so I was able to use the jammer a lot on people. And then the other Hawk Islam player, he had a list that was primarily irregular orders, which was really weird for me.
That is weird. Just tons of mutts and coon?
It was vanilla, so they were using Hansaku, Smuts, Miranda Ashcroft, uh, and like they had Alpha Seed. So Alpha Seed and like two Tarigs. So some really high point units mixed with a lot of low point spams. And I felt a little bad because I'm like I kind of guessed who his lieutenant was because that's just he plays an army that I play. I'm like, all right, who on this list is probably the lieutenant? All right, I'm gonna go gunning for that guy and put him in loss of lieutenant.
Yeah, I've done that before. Like, if I had this list, who would I want my lieutenant to be? Yeah. Yep, been there. And I feel the same pity, like this isn't nice what I'm about to do.
Yeah, it's like, am I a dick for doing this? I'm probably a dick for doing this.
You know what? It's it's part of the game, and it's a really valid part of the game. So we shouldn't. And it's not like we're even using like information we shouldn't. It's just familiarity with the army. But yeah, when you put somebody in loss of lieutenant first turn, you feel kind of jerky. But it's not your fault, Alan. you were right. You were right to do what you did.
Yeah, that's just how it came down to just playing five incredibly great games.
I'm so envious of you. So envious. So the top player, what army did he bring?
Vanilla Aleph.
Vanilla Aleph. Outstanding.
Which really scared me because when he brings on his tray and I see Ajax, I'm like shit, and he didn't bring Ajax in that list.
Ajax scares everybody. Here's the thing though, like, I'll be honest. I've played Ajax a lot. I don't play him much anymore. Because is he big and tough and scary? Yeah. But the amount of fire that people put into him, he goes down like fast. And he's just I mean, okay, maybe like in a limited insertion he has a place. But he is just way too easy to bring down. Otherwise.
Just a madman with a big ass hammer.
Yeah, you know, and he's a fun model. He's got a fun profile, but either he dies immediately, or I have to keep him so far back out of the way to keep him alive that he doesn't get anything done.
Originally, or like for Steel Phalanx, originally I saw people were playing with it. They use the other Myrmidons as a delivery system. Like, kept him like second or third in the back.
Yeah, and I've done that, but the problem is like, so where he really shines is in close combat, and Infinity just isn't made for close combat. So I would rather take somebody like Eudoros, who's got a Mark 12 and still has smoke grenades and ODD.
Yeah.
And so you've got a +1 ballistic skill Mark 12 with a guy who has a good enough ballistic skill to make use of it. And so, yeah, so you throw Eudoros into cover, and so ODD plus cover, you know, plus you're rolling 4 dice to their 1, typically. And, I mean, they've changed the range bands on it a little bit, so it's now more like an HMB. It's a little bit more long-range weapon, but it was like the perfect skirmishing weapon, you know, because it was like from 8 to 16 inches was +3. It was like 0 from 8 to 12, +3 to 8 to 16, or 0 to 8 and 8 to 16, whatever. But it was just this amazing weapon. Like, it's still good, but I would say it's not as good as it was. Because honestly, it was probably just a little bit too good. Hey, Alan, did you know that black is a really fun color to paint because it covers amazingly well?
It's a really good color.
So Beerfinity was good. The full up tournament sounds like it was pretty good. Did you guys do anything else like in the evenings or?
No, and yeah, it's hard to because like we're familiar with the area. There's food stop places real close by, so it was in walking distance.
I should have been there. I could have taken you guys to whatever you wanted.
Yeah, like listening to Tom, like there's a Irish pub and all that was close by, and I was like, oh, I, I missed that.
Yeah, there's um, yeah, dude, like that area because you guys were in Tempe. Like Tempe is kind of expensive, but if you get outside of Tempe, the prices drop pretty dramatically on all the food, but the quality stays the same, especially if you know where to look. Like, oh my gosh, I could get you guys the best Mexican food there. Um, I mean, Arizona just has good. It's almost harder to find like bad Mexican food in Arizona, to be honest, just because it's Arizona
True.
and we have a really high Mexican population there. Um, yeah, entertainment wise, I don't know. Random would have gotten everybody into trouble the places I took him, so maybe it's good I didn't take you guys because I could never go back to some of my favorite places.
Rand, I mean, as much crap as we give him, Randon's an interesting guy.
I love Randon. Like I talk crap about him, but it's because I love him. Um, so how did the sorry for Randon hashtag start? Let's talk about that. Just
Uh, so like I said, after round four, uh,
no, it started like on the trip down.
no, uh,
Yes, it did.
on the trip down, it was we were cursing Seth because Randon drives like a slow mother, and Seth likes to drive like a bat out of hell, so we're right behind him. And like for maybe 150 miles, we were like, we don't know where those guys are, and there's no reception. And so like, all right, well, we'll just keep driving, and we'll get there one way or another. And yeah, we. Uh, but the main hashtag, sorry for Randon, was just like I said, when he's got 12 drinks in him, he becomes like he wants to be everybody's friend. And like I said, in a room full of introverts, Randon was like, I'm gonna introduce myself to every one of these people here and get their name. And so he'd go up to like, I don't know you. What's your name? All right, let's hug it out. And then like once his buzz starts going off, and then he becomes really susceptible. Like, hey, Randon, do you think you can vault that wall? or or just it's like let's just see what stupid things we can get him doing. And luckily, nobody was injured.
He also split his pants.
Yeah, he was showing somebody how in Russia how they do squats, and ended up blowing out his shorts.
I don't know if he's like me and he travels. Doesn't bring a whole lot of extra pairs of pants. I don't know if that's true or not, but like, oh, if that happened to me, I'd be so angry because I'm like, I'm down to my backup pair. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Like I said, it was fun. I'm looking forward to LVO and maybe even um, the March Rumble.
Yeah, you think we're going out to Rumble?
I might think about it.
I'm not going. Anyway, sounds fun, but I'm just not going. That's there's somewhere you're like, yeah, maybe I can make that work. But I'm like, no, that was just not in the cards. Just, at the same time, if I'm going to go somewhere, like LVO is great because I get to go to Vegas. I don't want to go to Albuquerque. I've been through Albuquerque. There's nothing there.
I visited Albuquerque. There's nothing there.
Yeah. I did Albuquerque once. That was enough.
So they just showed off because you're painting Yijing. They showed off the new miniature for Angel Heraldes' book, Volume 2.
Oh, they've showed it off? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, here, let me show you. It is the Imperial Crane Agent. Imperial Agent Crane Rank.
Hold on, stand by one here. Let me swing over to the monitor here so I can see a little better.
So for those,
hello there, lovely.
yes, for anybody looking at the Angel Heraldes book, it's coming out soon. Went to print just recently, so it'll start on pre-orders soon.
Does it say what he's packing? What is
Nothing. It just says AP Close Combat Weapon, or DA. Yeah.
Because boy, I'm trying to remember what cranes bring to the table. Oh, my phone's almost dead. Sorry, I've gotten to where I really like using their mobile app. Because I know the crane rank is like some of these, like they can make some crazy link teams
Mhm.
in their Imperial service, and I had inadvertently, like the Wu Ming are great for it, and the Sujian is great for it. So I'm like, wow, I just inadvertently got an Imperial service army. But wow, he is beautiful. I mean, I guess if you're going to sell your painting book, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he can link up with Celestial Guard. So up to 3 Imperial crane ranks plus Celestial Guards. Okay.
So yeah, there you go. That's the coolest and newest thing from Infinity.
Yep. Martial Arts level 3, Kinematica level 2. He's a ballistic skill close combat 22 with martial arts level 3, so going to do work there. Ballistic skill 13, physique 13, whip 14, nice. Arm 4, BTS 6 with 2 wounds. Yeah, you can give him a multi-rifle and 2 nanopulsars, boarding shotguns, Spitfires, hackers. His lieutenant profile has sensor. Oh, and those come with sensor and X visor. So sensor, X visor, multi rifle, 2 nanopulsers. Yeah. Spitfire plus 2 multi rifles. Yeah, holy crap. You take the Spitfire with the X visor. Yeah. And then right, so then you throw him in there with, what did they say, 2 celestial guards? Oh, just the celestial guards. Yeah, so take 4 dirt cheap celestial guards plus that guy. You're getting work done. Now your ballistic skill 16 with, I mean, functionally a no negative range. And then if something gets close, you have a pair of nanopulsers.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll think about this. So for the 2, so nanopulsers are burst 1. For 2 of them, you turn into burst 2. And then having your link team will turn them into burst 3 nanopulsers. Hills to the yeah, baby. So that's a whole bunch of secret weapon washes you got back there, man.
Yeah, those are from. They're not the. They're the Rust line.
The Rust line.
It's the secret weapon acrylics.
Oh yeah, that's right. Have you used those yet?
Yeah, just a little bit.
What do you think of them?
They're nice. So I a little bit here on the tank. Still need to play with them a little more, but
just kind of a rusty looking paint. Have you tried like sponging it on in places?
Yeah, I did a stipple technique on it. But yeah, I've got 6 rust colors and then 2 mud colors, or 3 mud colors, which go really well through the airbrush.
Is it wrong, man? But I really just want to use a wash on this thing. Like, I'm just looking at all the nicks and grooves. I'm like, a wash would do so well on here. But I feel dirty using a wash on an Infinity model. You know, there's some models where it's like they just paint up well. Like, it feels like you do very little work and all of a sudden it just starts looking great. This is one of those. It looks great in spite of what I'm doing to it. But if you guys are watching, the yellow came out kind of nice. So the red to orange to yellow, white and yellow gives you a really nice smooth yellow all around. So I think I was a little too aggressive on it, on the yellow in some places. I didn't get as much color transition here as what I probably would have liked. So, but yeah, I think he's a good test model. This creates kind of really nice yellow, and especially like if you guys are an Imperial Fist player, I think this is a great Fist yellow too.
Well, speaking of, 40K, a little 40K talk.
Oh yeah.
That new box that's coming out.
Yeah.
It has Thousand Suns, Space Wolves, Custodes, and Sisters of Silence, all Horse Heresy.
Yeah, you thinking about it?
No, because I don't play any of those, but being that you like Space Wolves, you can get yourself some something new.
Definitely looking at it and thinking about it. The problem is there's a lot of stuff in there that I don't care about.
Yeah.
You know, the tacticals are generic, right? So I mean, I think it'd work into like 30 tactical Marines or whatever you want to build them as. There's nothing Legion specific on them. Specialty Space Wolf character, somebody else who's the fell-handed, not Bjorn, which I thought was kind of strange. Airmon, which is a cool looking model, 5 Terminators, some Custodes, and 5 Custodes or 10 Custodes, and some Sisters. I'm like, that's nice, but honestly, for Betrayal, if you pick up Betrayal at Cal, you're still going to get those 30 guys, 2 generic, basically Praetor models, 5 Terminators, and a Dreadnought. And I feel like, assuming that they're the same price point, which I see no reason why they wouldn't be, I feel like you can go in more directions with Betrayal at Calth, even if you are a Space Wolf player.
Yeah, it's probably one of those boxes where you'll see a lot of people splitting it up.
Yeah, Custodes are kind of cool, and we don't know how they work yet for the Sisters. I imagine what it'll be is the Space Wolves have the option to take them as some sort of like an upgrade option, you for 15 points throw in a Sisters of Silence, or for 30 points throw in a Custodes or something like that. You can just attach them on like sergeants. That's what I'm thinking, at least. We'll see. I think I'd still rather just get Betrayal at Calth. But whatever. I've got a lot of Infinity stuff to paint up. So let me ask you something, Alan.
What's up?
I got to go through and dark line this guy in. I'm actually thinking about using kind of a reddish brown. What do you think about that? I've seen a lot of people just use a straight red or an orange. I think that's going to look weird.
You could do green or blue. Are you wanting it to be warm or cool?
I'd like to keep it warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking like brown instinctively feels like the right choice, but I've seen so many other people go different directions, and I'm like, then I don't. But I don't think they do in this case. Because I've seen a lot of Eugene that I don't like. Because just doing a lining in black isn't going to work. That's not going to look great. Yellow is just the wrong color. Well, decisions. But I think I like the yellow how it's come out.
Yeah, you'll have to throw up some photos later.
Yeah, but except my phone's almost dead, so we'll get that a little. We might do that tomorrow. So, well, that's all I got for this evening, sir. What about you?
Yep, that's all I have. Yeah, talked about a lot tonight, folks. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down in the down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Casey, anything else?
No, that's it for me. Just as always, if there's ever something you guys want us to talk about or something you'd like us to take a look at, shoot us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com. This is the Atomic Salt, and Armageddon blew our minds.
Yes, it did. See you guys next week. Hopefully we'll be here next week. Good night, folks.